There's a video that's been around for a while, but it's making its rounds again that I put off debunking, but figured why not today? It's claiming that seeing Oahu from Kauai proves a flat Earth. The flat earthers say it's too far to be visible on a globe. So let's take a closer look and see what he says and then actually check the map.
I'm going to demonstrate that here in Hawaii, the Earth is flat. Now I'm on the island of Kauai. Here's Kauai. Kauai is about 26 miles across. And here is the island of Oahu. Oahu is about 42 miles across. And the distance between Kauai and Oahu from center to center is about 108 miles, according to Google. The highest point on the highest point on Oahu is Mount Kaʻala. Here's another image of it. This is not a mirage, and it's not refraction. You clearly see it. Just did a little pan here to show you where I'm at. This is Wailua River State Park. You can see the roosters off in the background. This is the island of roosters. If we were on a curved Earth, because of the curve, you would not be able to see this landmass. It's too far away. It would be below the horizon.
Okay, so this is a stellar observation, and let's piece it all together. First, he says it's 108 miles, center of island to center of island. Then he points at Kaʻala and the actual summit of Oahu. And finally, he shows his location as Wailua River State Park on Kauai. Here's the problem. He's not standing in the middle of Kauai, and he's not looking at the middle of Oahu. He's on the east edge of Kauai, and he's looking straight at Kaʻala. Okay, so let's double check that distance. So he's on Kauai, looking this way. We know that he's at the state park, which is in this area. It's pretty much like along this whole river. He doesn't say where he's at. He just pans and shows chickens. My guess is he's somewhere like here, because this has some elevation. And when he pans the camera around, we can see a red truck, so maybe it's parked over here. And then we see a road back here. But I don't see palm trees, but it's hard to tell. There's palm tree shadows there. But it's hard to tell exactly where he's at. He could be over here even. Hard to tell exactly where he's at, but we're going to assume there. So we will drop his observation pin. And now let's head to the mountain peak. So we know the mountain peak is right there. So 87.28 miles. So he wanted to measure middle of island to middle of island, but then do at 108 miles and then do we'll round up, an 88 mile observation. So there's a 20 mile difference right there. And I honestly don't think this is an innocent mistake. I think that he is purposely tricking and misleading people because he knows he's not looking over here. He knows that 100%. So adding the extra distance helps his math drastically of we shouldn't be able to see this, but 20 miles makes a huge difference. So we're going to use this topographic-map.com to get his height. We know that he is by some waterfalls. There we go. And so we'll click into this. 296 feet. I'm pretty sure he's not down in the gorge because he has some elevation. But yeah, so that's a drastic difference. 30 feet in that little run there. So we're going to just say 300 feet. So he's at 300 feet high. Now we know the correct distance is 88 miles. And then in his video, he showed that the mountain is 4,026 feet tall. So we can see 1,000 feet of this mountain on the globe. This is globe math. This is also with 0 refraction. We can include a refraction and see 700 feet more of the mountain, almost 700 feet more. But we're not going to do that. We'll just say 0 refraction, even though we're looking over 80 miles of ocean. And we should still see 1,000 feet of this mountain. So now let's compare the view. So we know his line of sight aims across this red line here. And we're going to try to match this up as close as I can to his picture. Okay, so here we've got his picture with Google Earth, and it looks kind of close. It's hard to tell this peak here if that is this or this, but everything else, let's see if I can get, but we're seeing this rounded dome here. So my guess is we're seeing this peak is this peak, and then it's dropping, and then this is that, but I could be wrong. But we're seeing this dome right there. But what's weird is really we are seeing, so I'm trying to line this up the best I can, and it's pretty hard, but it looks like we are seeing maybe that much, actually probably even less, because we're not getting this little hip here. So we'll go down, we'll say we're seeing this much. So let's say we're seeing that much of the mountain. Where's the rest of this island? Like this over here is clouds, and you can clearly tell because when he zooms out, this straight flat line extends absurdly far. And if you look, we can tell what mountains are because this is flat because it's a blown off volcano. But we can tell where mountains are because they are rigid, whereas this, straight line. So we know that's a cloud. So when a flat earther tells you you shouldn't see this on a globe, check the numbers. He added 20 miles to this observation just to make it where it didn't match the globe. Again, this is with zero refraction. We should easily see 1,000 feet of the peak of this mountain. And then to show why verifying matters, if we change this to the 108 miles that he gives us, we can't see it. So if we put standard refraction, we can see a little bit. But if somebody came in here to double check and didn't verify his distance, yeah, it looks like we shouldn't see any of that mountain. But he clearly lied about distance, and we can clearly, with globe Earth math, see the island. And when we compare it to Google Earth and we line up what we are seeing with kind of the ridge there, we can see that we're missing a whole lot of island. So this is why it's important to double check all the details, test the claims yourself, and not blindly listen to what people put out on the internet without verifying.